Okay, so the question says 56% of a number is 1064. What is 38% of that number? Okay, so in this case, we can do by assuming the number first, and then we can apply the 56% of that number to 1064, where from we can calculate the value of the number. And then when the value of the number is calculated, then its 38% can be easily found out. Okay, so the first thing he says, 56% of a number is 1064. We're gonna assume let the number be x. Now the first thing he says, 56% of the number is 1064. How do we calculate 56% of a number? Is going to be 56 by 100 into x. This is what how we calculate 56% of a number. 56 by 100 into x. He says this is equal to 1064. So this is what the expression we have. Now here where we can find out x, so let us transform the expression. So x is going to be 1064 multiplied by 100 divided by 56. So this is going to be the x. So as the question goes further, because we have to calculate 38% of this x now furthermore, so we are not supposed to calculate this. So will not be going to solve x, because we have to calculate the 38% of x also. So we'll save our time by not spending time in just calculating one number out of this x. So let us go further. Then he asked 38% of x. 38% of x that he wants us to calculate. So let us find out 38 by 100 of x is the value given here, 1064 into 100 divided by 56. So we are supposed to calculate this. This will be the final answer with us. So we can cut down few numbers. 2 cuts by 38 by 19, then this is by 28. Okay, this 100 is cancelled. So ultimately we are left out for x as 38% of x as 38 by 100 of 1900. So ultimate value comes out to be 722. So that is the right answer. The 38% of x is nothing but 722. Okay, so the question says if Maya's income is 30% less than that of Zeni's income, then by what percent is Zeni's income more than that of Maya? In these type of question where all the data is given in terms of percentage only, so we can start by assuming let the number or let the required thing that is supposed to be calculated is x, or rather we can, instead of doing it as x, we can assume it to be 100. So if we do it like that, then the things are easy to solve. Okay, so for this case also you can see there's the date, all the data is just given in percentage, there's no number involved, so we can easily assume it the required number or the main number to be 100 and then start solving the question by 100. That's what he says. Maya's income is 30% less than that of Zeni's income, so we can always assume Zeni's income to be 100. Okay, so now if Jenny's income is 100, he says Maya's income is 30% less. So what is 30% less than 100 is 70. So easily Maya's income comes out to be 70. Okay, then then by what percent is Jenny income more than that of Maya? So Jenny's income is 100, Maya's income is 70. What is the difference? What percent more means? What is the difference? Difference between them is 30. So the we can easily say that Maya's income is 30, Jenny's income is 30 more than Maya's income. But he wants us to calculate this thing in percentage. So in percentage, how this be calculated? The percentage different, we can call it as percentage difference. For calculating percentage more, how much percent more, we are calculate the percentage difference. Percentage difference is going to be difference divided by the base, the difference divided by the base multiplied by 100. Base here means the reference. Okay, the reference here is Maya, because that's what he's saying. By what percent is Jenny's income more than that of Maya? Whatever appear after then is your base always in these type of question. So up after then there is a word called Maya appearing, so Maya's income will be treated as a base. Difference we have already calculated to be 30. Base will be of Maya's income, that is going to be 70. That is going to be 70 multiplied by 100. We are supposed to do this. So clearly we are getting 300 by 7%. If we solve this precisely, it comes out to be 42.81%. So that is going to be the right answer. Jenny's income is 42.81% more than Maya's income. Now, in a school, 55% of the students are below 9 years of age, and the remaining 153 above 9 years of age. The total number of students in this class. In these type of question, just the percentage is not just involved, but the numbers are also involved. See, 153 is also given. So in these type of question, we have to assume the total or the base to be x, not 100. Okay, so he's asking for the total number of students, so we can assume the total number of students. Let total students. We can assume it like this. Let the total number of students is nothing but X. Then he says 55% of the students are below 9 years of age. So how many people are below 9 years of age that we are supposed to calculate? So 55% of below 9 years of age. We can make a symbol of below 9 years of age. Below 9 years of age, how many students are there? He says 55%. So 55 x over 100. So these many students are below 9 years of age. The remaining 153 are above 9 years of age. How many will be remaining? If 55% from 100%, if 55% is removed, how much percent is left out? Only 45% is left out. So that means remaining are the 45% of the total students. So we can clearly write 45% of the total students are the remaining ones, and their number is given to be 153. So we can clearly make it equal to 150. So this is the expression we need to solve for the value of x. Let us do it. This 45 can cut this 100. 5 9s are 45, and 5 into 20 is 100 itself. If we solve this further for x, the x value ultimately comes out to be 340. So that is going to be the right answer. The total number of students in the school are 340. Option number C. In an election, only two candidates contested. One of the candidates secured 40% of the votes and is defeated by the other candidate by 298 votes. Again, the numbers are involved, so we cannot assume anything to be 100. Okay, the total number of votes polled. Okay, so let us first of all assume that total number of votes polled, let the total votes is equal to x. We can start question by doing this. Then he says 40% of them is first one of the candidates secured 40%. Okay, so candidate number one, let's say C1, is securing how many votes out of X? Is 40% votes. So how many would be the other candidate in securing 100 minus 40? Okay, how much would be the other candidate securing 100 minus 40%? That is nothing but 60% would be the winning candidate scoring. That's why his percentage is more. That's why, because he is the winning candidate also. Then he says the and is defeated by the other candidate by 298. Defeated by means the difference of the votes. Okay, one can be defeated by certain number of votes. That means the difference of the votes is that much. How much is the difference of the vote? We can clearly find out the difference of the vote. That is C2 minus C1 is 60 minus 40. That is nothing but difference of the vote is 20% of the total. Okay, so this is what the difference is to the board, and this difference is already given to us as 298. So clearly what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to make the 20% of x equal to 298, because 20% of the total is 20% of x, that is 20 by 100 into x is equal to 298. This is what is the mathematical expression that we get, and clearly we are supposed to solve this for x. So we can cut this 20 and 100 by 5 here, where the x value comes out to be 1490, that is 1490 votes. So these are the total votes, 1490. It's available in option number C, becomes the right answer. Now, the price of an article has been reduced by 25%. In order to restore the original price, the new price must be increased by. Now, in this question, we can see there is no number involved. Only the percentages are involved. So, in these type of question, when the number is not involved, any number is not involved, then we can do this question by assuming the total to be 100 or the base price to be 100. Okay, not X but 100. He says price of an article has been reduced by 25%. Let us say the the older price was 100. Let us say the older price or the base price was older price was 100. This was the older price. He says the price of an article has been reduced by 25%. Okay, so if it is reduced by 25%, what is the reduced price? Reduced price is going to be 100 minus 25, that is 75%. So this is the reduced price, rather not percent, just 75. Original price is 100, reduced price is 75. Then he says in order to restore the original price, that means the original price is the 100 only. He's saying if you want to restore 75 to 100, what should you do? The new price increased by. So the reduced price should be increased by how much? That is the question. Okay. So clearly we can see the to make 75 as 100, how much we are supposed to add? We are supposed to add just 25. So clearly the new price should be increased by 25 to make it 100. But he's asking this data in percentage form. That is, that new price should be increased by how much percent? The new price must be increased by how much percent to restore back to the original price? So we are supposed to calculate this 25 is what percent of 75, because from 75 we have to increase 25. So the base becomes 75. Okay. So how much should we increase? We should increase 25. In what base price we should increase? We should be increase in 75 base price into 100. So this is what we are supposed to solve. This comes out to be 33 1 by 3%. So out of 75, we need to increase 33 1 by 3% of 75, and the original price will be restored. It is available where? It's available in option number A. So becomes the right answer. Now, in a school, 75% of the students pass and 20 fail. The number of students appearing from another school is 20 more than, and 10 students pass than the former school. So some data is given. The pass percentage of the later school is. So clearly we are not given the only percentages values. We are given some numbers also. So we'll not be assuming it to be the total number or the total number of students in the first school or the second student as X. Rather, we'll try to do this question using will not be able to assume it 100. We rather will try to do it using X thing. So the first thing he says 75% of the student pass and 20 fail. So if failing percentage, rather if the pass percent is 75%, what is going to be the fail percent? Fail percent is going to be 25%. Okay. So he says 25% of the student pass and 20 fail. So this 25% is actually in number as 20. Okay. So we can assume 25% to be 20. So we can assume this. Let the school number one students, school number one student are in number of X. So then he says out of 25% fail and the number is 20. So that means 20% of X is going to be 20. 25% of X is going to be 20 because this is the school. So 25% of X is 20. So X value comes out to be, if you cut it, 25 4 jar, X 20 into 4 is 80. That means the first school has how many students? 80 students. So this is what is cleared by the first line. Now first school number 1 has got a strength of 80. And he says number of students appearing from another school is 20 more than 20 more. So another school, let's say S2. So if the first school has got a strength of 80, the another school would have got a strength of, he says, 20 more. So let's add 20 to the 80, that is making it 100. So the next school has a strength of 100. Then he says, and 10 more students passed in the former school. So we need to find out how many students passed in the first school first. See, he says 20 have been failed, and we just calculated the total number of students as 80. So how many would have been passed? 80 minus 20, that is 60 would have been passed in the first school. So by this, we can find out how many passed in the second school. He has given 10 more student pass in the former school. So SP2 will be 10 more than 60. So 10 more than 60 is nothing but 670. So in the school number 2, 70 students have been passed. He's asking for pass percent of the later school is. So we need to know what is the pass percent of the later school. So clearly total strength of the later school is 100 and 70 have been passed. So this is a clear indication that 70% have been pass. So pass percent of the later school is, percentage pass is nothing but 70% out of 100. So it is available in option number B and becomes the right answer. Then he says if the numerator of fraction is increased by 200% and the denominator of the fraction is increased by 150%, then the resultant fraction is 7 by 10. In these type of question, we can assume the numerator and denominator both. We can assume the numerator to be X, denominator to be Y, and then supposed to do the required changes that he has made, and then whatever comes after doing the changes, we make it equal to the resultant fraction that has been given. So let us assume the numerator. Let's say the fraction is, let the original fraction is X over Y, where X is the numerator, Y is the denominator. Now let us see what changes he has done. He says numerator of fraction is increased by 200%. So something increased by 200% means adding 200% to the original. So our original was X, adding 200%. So that is X plus 200 by 100 X. This is the 200% of X. Okay, this is how we have added 200% of X into X, divided by what has happened to Y. The denominator of the fraction is increased by 150%. So denominator, original denominator is Y, increased by, so plus how much percent more? 150% more. So that is 150% of Y. So this is going to be the new fraction with us. Okay. Now we are supposed to solve this, and he's saying this new fraction is actually equal to 7 by 10. This is what he's already given. So clearly we are supposed to solve this expression for X by Y, so that in that way we'll be able to achieve the original expression. So let us solve this. This 100 and 200 get cut by 2. 100 and 150 is 3 by 2. Okay, so we can write like X plus 2X divided by Y plus 3 by 2Y. is equal to 7 by 10. If we solve this further, x plus 2x is 3x divided by y plus 3 by 2 is going to be 5y by 2. So it's going to be 5 by 2 is equal to 7 by 10. If we further solve for x by y, the x by y final value comes out to be 7 by 10 into 5 by 6. That is nothing but 7 by 12. So that is the final answer. The original value of x by y is nothing but 7 by 12. Let's see, it is available in option number B becomes the right answer. 8. If the price of a commodity increased by 53%, by what percent must a consumer reduce the consumption of the commodity so as not to increase the expenditure? So this is a situation. If I am consuming something and suddenly its price is increased and my budget is not increased, so what should I do? Either my budget is increased, so I can consume the similar amount of quantity what I was consuming before the price was hiked, or the other option that I have is let me not reduce my consumption. Let me not if the income is not increased, so what we can do is I can reduce my consumption. Okay, if I cannot increase the income, the other option that I have is I can reduce my consumption so as to match with the similar quantity that I was consuming. So in this situation, what we do, we have a formula, we can direct relate to direct formula. This formula is related like if the price of a commodity is increased by, let's say, x percent, then reduction in consumption, how much reduction in the consumption I should make so that my budget is not disturbed and I can use this, I can dedicate the same amount to this particular commodity's consumption as I was doing it earlier. Reduction in consumption can be solved by x over 100 plus x into 100%. So this is what is the formula. If the price of a commodity is being increased by x percent, how much should be the reduction in the consumption can be calculated by x over 100 plus x into 100. Okay, so let us just use it. He has said the price of a commodity is increased by 53%. So x value will be treated as 53%. So reduction in consumption will be 53 divided by 100 plus 53 into 100%. If we solve this is going to be 53 divided by 153 into 100%. Okay, which is nothing but if we solve this further, this actually comes out to be 34.68%. So that is going to be the right answer. How much reduction in consumption to be made? 34.68%. It's going to be the right answer. Next, Steve spends 15% of her monthly income on household expenses. She spends 17% of the monthly income in traveling and 6% on medical expenses and then saves rest 15,500. What is her monthly income? So clearly the income can be calculated by different categories. He is doing some saving, some expenditure, and then total income should be expenditure number 1, that was on household expenditure, plus expenditure number 2, that was on traveling, plus expenditure number 3, that was on medical expenses. This was the expenditure, and plus he's saving also, then the saving part. Okay, so this is how the income can be distributed totally. Expenditure 1, 2, 3, as many are there, plus the saving will be equal to the total income that we have. So we're going to use this. Okay, so let us do it. Okay, for doing that we can assume the income to be x. Let the total income is x, so we can solve it using this. Okay, so the first expenditure is 15%, so 15% of x into 15 by 100. This is the expenditure on household expenditure, plus second expenditure is on traveling, so it has to be 17x by 100, plus third expenditure is on medical expenses, so it's going to be 6x upon 100. Then the saving, so the saving has to be added up, 15,500. Okay, so this is equal to the total income which we had assumed to be x again. So clearly we are supposed to solve this particular expression to get the value of x. So it's going to be x is equal to 15 and 100 can cut away, so it's going to be 5 3 are 15 and 5 into 20, so it's going to be 3x by 20, plus 17 cannot cut 100, so it has to be like this only. 6 and 100 can be cut, 2 3 are 60, 2 3 are 6, and 250 is 20, so it's going to be 3x by 50 plus 15,500 is equal to x. So clearly we can take the LCM as 100. So it's going to be 520 into 100 is 5. So 15x plus 17x plus 6x plus 15,500. So 15,500 into 100, okay, upon 100. Clearly, if we solve this further, we can get to the. Okay, so the question says Steve spends 15% of her monthly income on household expenses. She spends 17% of the monthly income in traveling and 6% on medical expenses. These are her expenditures. And at the last, she's able to save 15,500. What is her monthly income? That is the question. So always the income is the sum of the expenditure and the saving. Income is always the expenditure plus the saving. That's what is the income. Okay, so in this situation also we are supposed to assume the first the income, and then we'll make an expression out of it in terms of expenditures and savings. So the first and foremost thing we'll do, let the income of Steve is X. So let us use the above formula here. So X is equal to expenditure. Let us take the expenditure one by one. First expenditure is 15% of the monthly income. That is 15x by 100, plus the next expenditure is 17% of the monthly income. Monthly income is X, so it's going to be 17x by 100. Then there is one more expenditure, that is 6% on medical expenses, so that is going to be 6x by 100. Plus then there is a saving thing. How much saving she is able to do? 15,500. So 15,500. So this is the ultimate expression. If we solve this for X, then that will be the total income only. So let us do it quickly. So X is equal to, let's take the 100 as the larger LCM. So it's going to be 15x plus 17x plus 6x plus 15,500 and multiplied by 100. So let us solve this. This comes out to be 100x is equal to 15 and 17 is 32. 32 and 6 is 38. So it's going to be 38x plus 155 4 times 0. So if we solve this for x, the x value is ultimately coming out to be rupees 25,000. So that is what is the monthly income of the Steve is 25,000. Let us see, it is available in option number B becomes the right answer. Now, a man had a certain amount with him. He spent 20% of that to buy an article and 5% of the remaining on transport. Okay, 20% has been uh, has been uh, has been used to buy an article, then 5% of the remaining. So we need to find out the remaining after giving away the 20%. Whatever is the remaining amount left, we have to find out 5% of the remaining one. Okay, then he gifted rupees 120. If he is left with 1,400, the amount he spent on the transport was. Okay, so clearly we'll have to assume the initial amount. So let us initiate, let us assume the initiate amount. Let the amount that the man has was, let the amount, the total amount was X. Now like we can start applying the conditions. He said spend 20% of that to buy an article. So 20% has been spent. So if 20% has been spent, what is the remaining one? Okay, so if 20% has been already spent to buy an article, then the remaining amount should be how much in percentage? The remaining should be 100 minus 20%. Okay, that is nothing but exactly equal to 80%. So the 80% is left out of the original one. How much is that? We can write down here. So remaining part is 80% of x, that is 80x by 100. That is the remaining part. Okay, now he says 5% of the remaining has been spent on transport. So we have to find out the expenditure on transport is nothing but 5% of the remaining is this. So 5 by 100 of 80x by 100, this is what is has been spent on transport. 5% of 80% of x. Then he says, then he gifted rupees 120. So rupees 120 has been also withdrawn from his amount. Okay, so the now including the gift, how much amount has been left out? He says left amount is always expenditure on transport. Left amount is always the total amount minus expenditure on transport and also the gifted value. Okay, the gifted price. Okay, so let us use it. The left amount he has already stated, the left amount with him is 1,400. So we can write 1,400 is equal to total was X minus expenditure on transport is just we calculated 5 by 100 into 80x upon 100 minus gifted amount. How much is the gifted amount? Gifted amount is 120. So clearly we need to solve this particular expression to find out our x. Let us quickly do it. So it's going to be 1400 is equal to x minus, we can cut this down, 5 by 20. 20 can cut this 80 by 4. This 4 can cut this 100 by 25. So it is ultimately left out as x minus x by 25 minus 120 is equal to 1400. If we solve this further, then we can easily get to the x. So the x value that is finally coming is rupees 2000. That is what is x coming. But what we are supposed to calculate the amount he spent on the transport. So the total amount has come as 2000, but he wants us to calculate the amount spent on transport. That's what we had written here. Amount spent on transport as ET. So let us use the expression of ET to find out the amount spent on transport. That is nothing but 5 by 100 of 80x by 100. We now know the 8x value, that is 2000 divided by 100. So we need to solve this quickly to find out our answer. So this 100 double zeros are gone. Then this 20 can cut this 100 by 5. This 5 can cut this 80 by 16. So clearly it is coming out to be rupees 80. So that is the expenditure on the transport value called as 80. That is going to be the right answer. Let us see where it is available. It is available in option number D and becomes the right answer. Now, two numbers are less than a third number by 30% and 37%. Okay, how much percent is the second number less than the first? Okay, this is the condition given. In these type of question, what we do, we assume the base number as x, the number in terms of which everything has been defined, in reference to which rest of the numbers have been defined. We identify that number and then assume that to be x only. Okay, but in this question there is an advantage that everything has been just given in terms of percentage. Whenever everything is just given in percentage, we don't need to assume anything as x. Rather, we'll assume the base number as 100. So let us do that. Two numbers are less than the third by 30% and 37% respectively. So let us assume the third number only, because both the numbers have been defined in terms of the third number itself. So let us say let the third number is 100. Okay, let the third number is 100. Then he say two numbers are less than the third number by 30%. So the first number is less than the third number by 30%. So number should be 70. And the second number is less than the third number by 37%. So second number is less than 100 by 37%. That is 100 minus 37. Okay, 100 minus 37, that is nothing but 63. So now we can clearly see these numbers. First number is 30% lesser. Second number is 37% lesser. So these are the first and second numbers, 70 and 63. And this is the third number, 100. Then he says, how much percent is the second number less than the first? Okay, second number minus the third percentage. We need to know how much is percent is second number less than the first. Second number less than the first is asked. So we need to find out second number minus first number, the difference, divided by less than the first. So whatever appears after then, that becomes the denominator for calculation. Okay, less than the first. So first has to come in the denominator side into 100%. That's what we are supposed to do. What is the second number? Second number is 63. What is the first number? Is second minus first. So we can do, the second number is smaller. So it's going to be 70 minus 63 divided by first number is 70 into 100. Okay. If we solve this, this comes out to be 7 by 70 into 100. That is nothing but 10% becomes the right answer for us. Okay. So the question says a shopkeeper increased the price of a radio by 10%. Then by what percent should he reduce the new price to bring the price back to the original? Okay, so in this type of question, what we can do, first and foremost, there is no number involved, only the percentage thing is involved. So we can assume the base number to be 100. Okay, so that's what they have said. A shopkeeper increased the price of a radio by 10%. So let us assume the original price. Let us assume the original price was 100. Okay, then he says the shopkeeper increased the price of a radio by 10%. So what is the new price? That is the increased price is nothing but 10% more. 10% more than 100 is nothing but 110. So this is the new price, this is the old price. Now the question says, then by what percent should he reduce the new price to bring back to the original level? That is 110 should be reduced by what percent so that 100 is retrieved. Okay, for finding out the answer in percentage, we are supposed to find out the answer in number first. How much should 110 be reduced to make it 100? The reduction should be of 10. 10 10 number should be reduced, 10 rupees should be reduced from 110 to give it back to 100. Then he says how much percent, we need this answer in percentage, so we are actually requiring percentage reduction. So percentage reduction is always the reduction divided by the reduction divided by the price in which the reduction has been applied. Now the reduction is being applied in 110 because we are reducing the 110 now. So the denominator should be the base that from which the reduction is being applied into 100%. So what is the reduction? Reduction value is 10. Where is the reduction being applied? It's 110 into 100. So clearly we are supposed to solve this. Okay, this is nothing coming out to be as 100 by 11. Okay, if we solve this further in terms of the decimal value, it comes out to be 9.09%. So that becomes the right answer. Let's see where it is available in option number B. So it's the right answer there. Now, 15 liter of mixture contains 20% of alcohol. There's a 15-liter mixture. So we can draw this like that. There's a 15-liter mixture in all. What are the compositions of it? There are 20% of alcohol into it. So we can write like this, and rest water. So how much should be the water? If 20% is alcohol, then the water should be 100 minus 20. That is nothing but 80% should be water. So 20% is alcohol, 80% is water. Then he says 3 liter of water be mixed in it. So water being mixed is 3 liters. So the total volume will become how much? Total volume will become how much? Total volume will be 15 earlier plus 3 more. That is 18 liter is the new volume of the total mixture. Then he says 3 liter water mixture, the percentage of alcohol in the new mixture will be. So new alcohol volume is how much? New alcohol volume is nothing but the old alcohol volume, because only the water has been added. Alcohol has not been added up. So the new alcohol volume is exactly similar to the old alcohol volume, that is 20% of 15. So we are supposed to find out that 20% of 15 is nothing but 20 by 100 into 15. If we solve this further, this is going to be 3 liter. So the alcohol volume is 3 liter, and the percentage of this alcohol volume is to be calculated out of the total new volume. So that can be done by the alcohol volume divided by the new total volume into 100%. This is how the alcohol percentage can be found out in the new volume. Let us apply the values. Alcohol volume is 3, new volume is 18 into 100%. If we solve this, this is coming as 100 by 6 or 50 by 3%. If you want to calculate this in mixed fraction, it is coming out to be the 16 2 by 3%. That is the mixed fraction of 50 by 3 is. Let us see where it is available. It is available in option number B. So becomes the right answer here. Now, the next is, if x is 90% of y, then what percent of x is y? So clearly we are supposed to generate the expressions first, then only we can solve it. He says x is 90% of y. So we can write it like this: x is 90% of y. Okay, we can solve this mathematically. 90% of something means 90 by 100 of y. So it's going to be x is equal to 90y by 100. That is the first expression that we achieve from the first line. Then he asked, then what percent of x is y? So if we want to frame this in the form of a formula, what percent of x is y? So formula can be made as whatever appears after of is always the denominator. What percent of x? So x should come in the denominator. Is y? So y should come in the denominator into 100%. This is the expression that we need to solve. What percent of x is y? So it's y by x into 100% always. So we can put the values that we have in this particular formula. Y is as it is y by x. X is recently has been made as 90y by 100. So in place of this x, we'll write 90y by 100 into 100%. So we are supposed to solve this. Clearly the y and y get cancelled. 1 over 90 by 100 is 100 by 90. So it's going to be 100 by 90 into 100%. Okay, if you solve this further, this becomes 1000 by 90%. That is nothing but 100 by 9%. And if we solve 100 by 9 into mixed fraction, 1000 by, rather this is 10,000 by 90%. So if we solve this in the mixed fraction, it comes out to be exactly triple one 1 by 9%. Triple one 1 by 9%. Let us see where is this available. It is available in option number A itself. So that becomes the right answer. Triple one 111 1 by 9%. Now, a period of 10 hours 20 minutes denotes what percent of a day? Okay, so 10 hours 20 minutes is what percent of a day? So we are supposed to find out percentage as 10 hours 20 minutes, 10 hours plus 20 minutes of a day. So whatever appears after of is the denominator, Off, after off is coming day. A day has got 24 hours, so we'll write down the denominator as 24 into 100%. This is what we are supposed to solve. Now 10 hours plus 20 minutes, we are obviously we'll have to convert everything in the hour only, because in the denominator I have got hours only. So 10 hours plus 24 minute, 20 minute can be converted as 10 plus 20 by 60 of an hour, because 20-minute converter to be in the 60 is 20 by 60 always. So 10 plus 20 by 60 divided by, in the denominator we have 24 into 100%. So we are supposed to solve this. 10 plus 20 by 60 is nothing but 1 by 3. 10 plus 1 by 3, we need to solve this. This is 31 by 3 in the numerator divided by 24 into 100. We are supposed to solve this now. So if we solve this further, this exactly comes out to be 45%. So that is the right answer, 45%. Let's see where it is available. Available in option number A. So becomes the right answer. Now he says P is 6 times as large as Q. The percentage that Q is less than P is. Okay, so we write down the first condition first. P is 6 times large as Q. So P is equal to 6Q. This is what the first thing that we get. Then he asks for percentage that Q is less than P is. So let us find out Q is less than P by how much? Q is less than P by how much is obviously going to be P minus Q. Okay, but he doesn't want this in the normal value, he wants this in percentage. He's asking percentage that Q is less than P. So P minus Q's percentage is to be calculated. How much percent that Q is less than P? Whatever appear after then becomes the denominator. So if we want to generate the formula of this line, then percentage that Q is less than P. So for that we have to write down P minus Q divided by then P. So the numerator, the denominator is the P. So it has to be P in the denominator multiplied by 100%. This should be the expression of the question being asked in the last line, P minus Q by P into 100. So let us quickly use this expression. So it's going to be P minus Q as it is in the numerator side divided by, in place of P we can write down 6Q. We just calculated P to be 6Q into 100%. Again, this numerator's P can again be replaced by 6Q. So it's going to be 6Q minus Q by 6Q into 100%. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 5Q by 6Q, that is 5 by 6 into 100%, which is nothing but 500 by 6%. Okay, if we solve this further, this exactly comes out to be in the mixed fraction as 83 1 by 3%. So that becomes the right answer in this case. 83 1 by 3%. It is where it is available. It is available in option number D. So becomes the right answer. Okay, he says 72% of the students of a certain class took biology and 44% took mathematics. If each student took at least one subject from biology or mathematics, then 40 took both. So in this particular question, we have been given data in the terms of percentage also, and we have been given data in terms of the number also. 72% and 44% are the percentage data, and 40 is the number data. So we are supposed to use the percentage data and find out the people who have taken both biology and mathematics in the form of percentage, and then we can make it equal to the number of people who have taken both, that is 40. This is what is the strategy. Okay, one more thing that we can do is this is a situation of a set theory concept. Okay, when there are certain number of people who have taken biology, certain taken have taken mathematics, and there are certain taken both. So clearly this is a theory of set theory, which is A union B. The formula comes in the picture. A union B is A plus B minus A intersection B. What is this A union B? Is the total number of people involved. What is this A? The first category people, okay, which we call it as all people who have got the choice of A, plus B, all the people who have got the choice B, minus A intersection B is the people who have taken both A and B. This is what is A intersection B is. Okay, so let us start doing it in terms of percentage. Total percentage always is taken as 100. So this is 100% is equal to all A. Let us assign A as the biology. So how many people, what percent have of the people have taken biology is 72%, plus what percent of the people have taken mathematics, so it's 44%, minus A intersection B. So let us assume that as both only. Let us not write the value, because we don't have the percentage value of both. We have the number value of both. So here we'll just find out the percentage value of both, and then we'll make it equal to the number value of both. So if we solve this for both, how much is the both coming? Both is coming as 100 minus minus 100 plus 116%. That is nothing but 16%. So 16% of the people have taken both. Now, total number is not available with us. So let us assume the total number of people to be X. Now, 16x upon 100, that is 16% of the total people are the people who have taken both. And in number, this both data is given as 40. So we can write it down here as 40. So clearly we need to solve this. 16x by 100 is equal to 40 for x. If we do this can be 16x is equal to 4000, which is giving us x is equal to 4000 divided by 16, and which comes out to be 250. So what are the total number of people in the class is simply going to be 250. Let us see where it is available. It is available in option number C becomes the right answer. Now, a period of 11 months, 25 days is approximately equal to what percent of a year? Okay, so if you want to generate the what percent of a year, what we can do is the period of 11 month and 25 days, that is 11 month plus 25 days. This is that period they are talking about of a year. So divided by a year, whatever appear after of is my denominator. So 11 month plus 25 days of a year. So divide by year into 100%, because the question is asked in percentage value. That's what we are supposed to solve in this particular question. So clearly for year, we can assume 12 months. So for an year, we can just write 12, and we need to convert this 11 month and 25 days into complete month, because we are taking month as the base unit. Okay, so what we are doing, 11 month plus 25 days. So 25 by 1 month has got 30 days. So this is how the month will come, 11 month plus 25 by 30 months into 100%. If you solve this further, this is going to be 11 plus 5 by 6. 11 plus 5 by 6 of month multiplied divided by 12 into 100%. Okay, if we solve this further, this is coming out to be 71 by 6. 11 plus 5 by 6 is 71 by 6 divided by 12 into 100%. Okay, which gives us 71 by 72 into 100%. If we solve this 71 by 72%, that is, we can cut both the numbers by 4. This is 25, this is 18. And if we solve this further, this approximately comes out to be 99% something. Okay, so we can approximate this value to be 99%. Okay, and that is the right answer. 99% available in option number E. Now, Punita borrowed from Reena for 2 years at a certain sum at simple interest. Okay, so this is a sequence going on. Punita has borrowed from uh, Reena. So there's the Reena, and who has borrowed? Punita has borrowed from her at a certain sum at simple interest. Okay, the interest has been simple here. Punita lent this sum to Venu. Punita has given, lent means given to Venu at same rate for 2 years. So she has also taken it for 2 years and is also transferring this amount for 2 years to Venu at the same rate. Punita lent this sum to Venu at the same rate for 2 years. Punita lent this sum to Venu at the same rate for 2 years in simple interest. For 2 years at compound. Punita lent this sum to Venu at the same rate for 2 years for compound interest. At the end of 2 years, she received 110 as compound interest. Okay, so at the end of 2 years, how much is she receiving? She receiving 110 as compound interest, because she has laid it down to Venu as compound interest, but paid 100 as simple interest. So what is Punita paid to? Punita has to pay to Reena back, because she has taken it from Reena. So she had to pay 100 rupees back to Renu, and she received 110 as compound interest from Venu. So Punita paid 100 rupees to Reena and received 110 from Venu. Okay, this is what is the situation. So in this case, we are supposed to find the sum and the rate of interest. So let us do it sequentially, one by one. Okay, clearly she has paid simple interest, and she has received what? She has paid simple interest and she has received what? Compound interest. So clearly, we are supposed to find out the difference of compound interest and simple interest. What is the difference of compound interest and simple interest? Is the compound interest received as 110, simple interest paid as 100. So difference is coming out to be 10 rupees first of all. Okay, this is the 10 rupees difference. Now, in this situation, when the difference of compound interest and simple interest for 2 years is given, then we have a formula associating the principal with the difference. Okay, whenever this thing has happened for 2 years, so principal in the case of 2 years can be calculated by, there's a formula called as difference multiplied by 100 square divided by r square. So this formula can be brought into the picture directly without having to calculate the time value and principal interest formula and compound interest formula. This formula can be brought into the scene. So if we bring this formula in the C, then we have got the difference value. So we can calculate the principal for this case. So principal is going to be 10 into 100 square divided by r square. If we bring down the r on the left hand side, r can be calculated as 100 under root 10 by p. So this is what is the connection that we have got between r and p. Now, as we know that there's a simple interest being involved, so we can use the formula of simple interest now. So what is the formula for simple interest? Is simply p into r into time upon 100. Okay, so let us put that, and we know the simple interest that she has to pay to Rina is 100. So in place of simple interest we'll write 100 is equal to, in place of p what we can write, just p. In place of r what we can write, we can write this expression that we have just created. So let's just quickly write this expression, 100 into root 10 by p into time value is obviously 2 divided by 100. So in this case situation we can find out the value of p. If we solve this together, this 100 comes in the left hand side, becomes 100 square, which can cut this another 100 like this. So if we solve this, the p's value is ultimately coming by solving this as 250. So that is what is principal value. But we are not supposed to solve the principal value. Rather, we are supposed to solve not just the principal. The principal has come. That is the value called as 250. We are supposed to calculate the rate also. So we have a direct formula that we just used for finding out the rate in terms of principal. So we can use this formula. R is equal to 100 over under root 10 divided by P. Principal value is 250. So this is what the formula being used. If we solve this further, this comes out to be R value as 20%. Okay, so the rate value is 20% and the principal value is 250. These are the two values that he was asking. Let us see where it is available. The principal has to be 250 and the rate value has to be 20%. It is available in option number B, becomes the right answer for us. Now, he says in an election between two candidates, 80% of the voters cast their votes. Okay, so whatever people were enrolled in the list, okay, out of those enrolled people, only 80% could go and casted their vote. Okay, then out of which 4% of the votes declared were invalid. So whatever number of people casted their vote, out of them 4% votes were invalid. So obviously invalid votes have no role to play in deciding the winner, so they are completely wasted. So ultimately the total valid votes are the main vote bank from which the winner and the loser is decided. So ultimately we will have to reach to the valid votes number. Okay, so we can begin this question by assuming the total number of votes enrolled first. Okay, total number of voters enrolled. So let us begin it by like that only. The let the voters enrolled in all, how many voters were enrolled in the list? Let us assume that as X, and then we can rely on X for everything that we are supposed to calculate. Then he says 80% of the voter cast their votes. So how many voters cast their vote? So we can say votes casted. How many votes were casted? He says 80%. So 80 by 100 of X. So these many votes have been polled or casted. Then he says out of which 4% of the vote declared were invalid. So whatever vote were casted, 4% of them have been invalid. So if 4% have been invalid, what is the valid number? So valid number is obviously 100 minus 4%. That is nothing but 96%. So how many votes are actually valid? Is 96%. So let us find out the valid votes now. The valid votes is going to be total number of votes polled, that is 80x by 100, and 96% of it. So 96 by 100. So this is the total number of valid votes that have been polled and counted there. Now winner and loser will have to be decided on this valid vote number only. What they say, uh, in declare what invalid, a candidate got 53,760 votes, which was 70% of the total valid votes. So what he says, 53,760 is 70% of valid votes, and we already know the valid vote. We have calculated that in terms of an expression, so we can use this thing to find out our X. 53,760 is equal to 70%, that is 70 by 100 of valid vote is the expression that we have generated, 80x by 100 into 96 by 100. So we are supposed to solve this expression for finding out the value of X. Okay, so if we solve this, we can find out X quickly. So X is coming out to be, if we solve this, the zeros can be cancelled like this. This 96 can be cut by 24. 4 into 24 is 96, 4 into 25 is 100, and we can easily solve this question. So solve this particular expression, and the x value comes out to be 1 lakh. Okay, so this is the total number of votes that have been polled, 1 lakh. Let us see where it is available. It is available in option number D and becomes the right answer for us. Now, in an election, one of the two candidates get 40% votes and loses by 100 votes. Okay, so the losing candidate has got 40% votes. So clearly, the winning candidate would have got how many votes? If only two contestants are there, loser has got 40, so winning would have got 60% of the votes. Okay, and they say the loses by 100 votes. So difference between them in terms of percentage difference is obviously 60% minus 40%. That is 20% has been the vote difference. 20% has been the voting difference. So percentage difference value is come out to be 20%, but the difference is also given in terms of number. What is the number of votes? The difference in number is 40. Sorry, difference in number is 100. So this difference is number can be equated to the difference calculated in terms of percentage. 20% of the vote, 20% is the difference of the votes. So we can assume here the total votes to be x, and then we can find out clearly. So if we say let the total votes are x, then 20% is the difference of the votes from which the winner and the loser has been decided. So 20% of the total votes is the voting difference. That is already given us to as 100. So this is what is this expression that we have supposed to solve. We can easily solve this. 20 cuts the 100 by 5, so x value comes out to be 500. So total number of people who voted there were 500. Total number of votes are 500. Let's see where it is available. It is available in option number A and becomes the right answer. Now, what is the percentage of 3 1 by 2 days of a week? This is 3 1 by 2 days of a week to a week. Okay, so clearly he wants us to calculate 3 1 by 2 of a week divided by week into 100%. This is what he wants us to calculate. Percentage of 3 1 by 2 days to the week into 100%. If we do it like that, so 3 1 by 2 of a week is clearly going to be 3 to the 6 plus 1, 7 by 2 of a week. Okay, divided by a week only, 7 by 2 of a week. So 7 by 2 of a week has got 7 by 2 of a week divided by the week. The week itself is of 7 days. So it's going to be 7 by 2 divided by 7 into 100%. So if we cut this, this comes out to be 1 by 2 of 100, which is nothing but 50%. So 7 by 2, 3 1 by 2 of a week is nothing but equal to exactly 50% of the week, and that is where it is available. It is available in option number C. So it becomes the right answer. Next, 50%, 8% of 960 minus x percent of 635 is equal to 277.4. Find the value of x. So clearly in these type of question, we are actually algebraically able to solve this from left hand side to right hand side, and then we can find out the unknown. So the first thing that is right is 58% of 360. So 58% is 58 by 100 of 960 minus x percent of 635, that is x by 100 of 635 is equal to 277.4. So clearly we are supposed to solve this mathematically only, then only we can give away the answer. So 100 can be taken as LCM from both the cases. This becomes 58 into 960, the first term, minus 635 into x is equal to 277.4. If we solve this further, ultimately the x value is coming as 20 into 279.4 divided by 127, which is giving us x value as 44. So by solving the expression, we are getting the x value as 44. So that's what is the answer available in option number C. Now he says shelf A has 4 by 5 of the number of books than of shelf B. If 25%. Okay, so the question says shelf A has 4 by 5 of the number of books in shelf B. If 25% of the books in A are transferred to B, and 25% of the books from B are transferred to A, then the percentage of the total number of books that A will have. So we can do this question. See, everything is just given in terms of percentage. So clearly, if we can assume anything as 100, then things will be easy to solve. Rather than doing it from X, we can solve it using 100 also, because there is no number given. Okay, so the first line says A has 4 by 5 of the number of books of shelf B. So we'll assume the shelf B has how much? Shelf B has got 100 books. Okay, shelf B has got 100 books. Then shelf A will get how much? Shelf A will have 4 by 5, that is 4 by 5 of 100, that is nothing but 400 by 5, that is nothing but 80 books. Now clearly we have got shelf B has got 100 books and shelf A has got 80 books. Then they say 25% of the books in A are transferred to B. So new B will be, when this transfer happen, old B plus 25% of A. This will be the new B. How much is that? Old B was 100 plus 25% from A has been transferred. That is 8 80 is 25% has been transferred from A to B. That is going to be 100 plus 80 is 25% is nothing but 20. So the new B is 120. Okay, this is what is the new B, because from A, the books have been transferred to B. Now, A remaining will be how much? A remaining will be how much? Earlier, A had 80 books. Now, 20 books have been transferred because 1/4 have been transferred. So, 1/4 have been reduced. So, new A is nothing but is 60. So, that is what is new A. And the B new is 120 after the first transfer. When the second transfer is made, he's saying 25% of the book from B are transferred to A. So, B new is 120. 25% of B. So we can find out A new as A remaining plus 25% of B new is transferred to A. So B news 25%. 25% of B new. That has been making the expression of A new. How much is going to be A new? A remaining was 60 plus B news 25%. That is 25% of 120. That's what we are supposed to solve. That will give us A new value. How much is that? 60 plus 1 by 4 of 120. 1 by 4 of 120 is nothing but 30. 60 plus 30. 90 are the books in A now. Okay, so this is the condition with us. 100 books were initially there, 25% of A, 100 books were there in B, and 80 books were there in A. So 25% of the books in A transferred to B. So 25% of A's books is 20 that have given to B. So B new has got 120 books. Then how many A was left out with after this transfer? A had transferred 25%, that is A has transferred 20 books from itself. So 80 minus 20, 60 books are the remaining books in the A. Then when the second transfer is made, B has transferred 25% of the books to A. So the A new will be the remaining A plus the 25% of B. That is 25% of 120. So it's becoming 60 plus 30, that is 90. So these are the new data. This is the B new data 120. This is the B new data 120 and this is the A new data 120. Now, as B has transferred, so what is the B remaining data? B remaining data is 120 minus 30 because B has transferred 25% of it to A. So that is what is B remaining, that is 90. Okay, so B remaining is going to be 90 and A remaining, that is the A new value is also 90. So actually, after both the transfer, A and B have got the similar number of books. Okay, then let's see the what is the question. He's saying then the percentage of the total number of books that A will have is, okay, so how many books are A is having? So we are supposed to calculate A divided by total number of books into 100. So how much books A has? How many books A has? 90. Total books are 90 plus 90, that is with A and B, into 100%. Clearly this is coming out to be 90 by 180 into 100%, which is nothing but half of 100%, that is exactly 50%. So that becomes the right answer, 50%. Let's see where it is available in the option. Available in option number B becomes the right answer for us. Next, then he says the difference between 65% of a number and 25% of the same number is 784. What is 85% of that number? So in this type of question, they are not actually asking for the number, rather they're asking for 85% of the number. So we can do some shortcut, we can apply some shortcut so that we don't have to calculate the original number. How we can do that? He's saying difference between 65% of a number and 25% of a number. So we can write like 65% minus 25% of a number. Of the number, let the number is x, let the number is x, of the number that is x is equal to 784. This is what is the expression says. How much is 65% minus 25%? It's going to be 40%. So we can clearly write 40x by 100 is going to be 784. So from here we can calculate x as 784 multiplied by 100 divided by 40. So this is what is the number x value. We will not solve the complete expression of x here because he is not asking for the number. Rather he is asking something else. He is asking 85% of the number. So we are supposed to calculate 85 upon 100 of x. Okay, that is nothing but 85 by 100 of x value, x expression as 784 into 100 divided by 40. So clearly we need to solve this particular expression and that will ultimately give us the 85% of the number. So we can simplify. 100 can get 100, then this 0 can, the 40 can be cut by 85, that 5 17 ja 18 and 5 8 ja 40, then we can cut this 8 and 74, and ultimately 85% of x is coming as the exact number as 1666. Okay, so that is what is the 85% of the number that is there. So 1666, it is available in option number C. Now he says population of a village was 9800. In a year, with the increase in population of males by 8% and that of females by 5%, the population of the village become 10,458. Here, he has not mentioned what is the actual distribution between males and females of the total population. He's asking for what was the number of males in the village before the increase. So, obviously, we'll have to begin with assuming something. We'll start the question by assuming that the number of males are X, or let's say number of females are X, and then we can apply the percentage increase in that. Okay, so let us assume, let's say the number of males are X. So number of females will be how many? See, he says total number of students are 9800. So female will be 9800 minus X, because ultimately the total has to become 9800. So this is the first thing, males and females are there. Then he asks for in a year with an increase in population of males by 8%. So how much population of the males has been increased? It has been increased by 8%. So we'll write down 8%, that is males population, plus 8% of male. Male plus 8% of male, plus there is an increase in the female population by 5%. So we'll write female plus 5% more of female. 5% more of female. This would be the total increase in the total strength, one by one will be equal to the total new strength, that is will be 10,458. That's what he has already given. The population of the village then became 10,458. So let us do the calculation now. Males, the males we had assumed to be X plus 8% of X, that is 8X by 100, plus female we assume to be 9,800 minus X, plus 5% of female, that is nothing but 5 by 100 of 9800 minus X. This value has to come equal to 10,458. 10,458. So clearly we need to solve this particular expression. We can do it. So let us do it. 108x plus 1029,000 minus 105x is actually equal to, the 100 goes on the right hand side, gives us 10,045,800. If we solve this for x, the x value ultimately comes out to be 16,800 divided by 3, which is giving us the value as 5,600. So that is the value of the number of male. X has come before the increase. So let us see where it is available. It is available in option number B and becomes the right answer for us. Now, the gross income of a person is 16,000. A part of his income is exempted from income tax, and his net income is 14,480. If the rate of income tax is 8%, then income exempted from income tax is, that is the question in front of us. Okay, let us read it. A gross income of person is, so the income is already given out to be, so we can write down the values. Income is already given out to be 16,000. Part of his income is exempted from the income tax. How much part is exempted? For how much part the income tax is not to be paid? That is not given. So we can assume it also. Then he says, and net income comes out to be 14,480. So this was the gross income and the net income was 14,480. So clearly we can find out the income tax. Okay, how much is the income tax that has been paid? We can find out by doing the difference. 16,000 minus 14,480, which is 1160. This much income tax has been paid by him. Okay, if the rate of income tax is 8%, then that the income exempted from income taxes, he's asking for rate of income tax is 8%. So clearly 8% of the income is clearly equal to 1160. So what will be the chargeable income? Okay, the chargeable income will be nothing but 1160 multiplied by 100 by 8, because 8% has been exempted. So this is how we will calculate how much has been not exempted, that is chargeable. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 14,500. So this much is the chargeable income. Then he says the income exempted from the income. So if the chargeable income is 14,500, how much is exempted? So clearly the exempted one can be found out by the net income minus the income that is chargeable for income tax, that is equal to net income is 14,430 minus chargeable income is 14,500, and which comes out to be ultimately 14, rather this is income is 16,000, 16,000 minus 14,500, which comes out to be 1,500. So that is the ultimate value of the exempted income, 1,500. Let us see where it is available in the option. It's available in option number D and becomes the right answer. Then he says in class 10 containing 30 students, 24 passed in the first class. In another class containing Y students, Y containing 35 students, 28 passed in the first class. In which class was the percentage of students getting the first class was more? So we can draw it like this. In class X, the total students are 30. Okay, total is 30. What is the passing percentage? Passing students are 24. In class Y, the total number of students were 35. How many students passed? Were 28. This is what is the data given to us. Is asking for compare them in terms of percentage and tell whose passing percentage was higher. So passing percentage can be calculated by percentage of pass can be calculated by total number of passed student divided by total students into 100%. This is what is the formula can be brought in the scene. So what will happen with the X? Percentage of pass can be calculated by total number of pass students are 24 divided by total number of students are 30 into 100%. If you solve this, this comes out to be 6 4 is 30 and 6 5 is 30. 6 5 is 30. So 5 can cut this 100 by 20. So it comes out to be for X, it comes out to be 80%. For X, it comes out to be 80%. Let us find out for Y. So ultimately, pass value, pass number, pass people are 28. Total students are 35 into 100%. That's what going to be the passing percentage for the case of Y. Okay, let us cut it. 7 4 is 28. 7 5 is 35. 5 can cut this 100 by 20. So it's again coming out to be 80%. So passing percentage for X and Y is both coming out to be 80%. That is, they are same. So there's both the classes have equal percentage of student getting the first class, which is that option available in option number C. Both have got the equal percentage of past students. Now he says the population of a village is 4,500. 5/9 of them are males and rest are females. If 40% of the males are married, then the percentage of married female is. So in this type of question, when the population is already given to us, so we can keep on calculating every part that he has given, sometimes in terms of fraction, sometimes in terms of percentage, and then we can reach to the final answer. So let us begin by the first part. The total population is given out to be 4,500, that is 4,500. He says 5/9 of them are male. So how many male are there? 5/9, that is 5 by 9 of total population, that is 4,500. If we solve this further, 9 5 is 45 is going to be 500 into 5, that is 2,500. So this is the total male population. Then he says rest of them are female. So how many will be female? We can do this by subtraction. Total were 4,500 minus if we subtract the female part. So this is the total female, that is 2,000. Total female are how many? 2,000 are the female and 2,500 are the male. Then he says 40% of the male are married. So how many males are married? How many males are married? 40%. Okay, 40% of what? 40% of total males. So we know the males candidate number, that is 2,500. So how many males are married? We are just supposed to calculate 40% of the male number, that is 2,500. If we solve this further, it comes out to be 1,000. So 1,000 male are married. Then he's asking for the percentage of married female. So when 1,000 male are married, obviously they would be married to their spouses, and the spouses number will again be 1,000. So 1,000 male would have married to 1,000 females only. Okay. So clearly the female that are married are also 1,000 in number. Female married are also in number as 1,000. Okay. The question says then the percentage of married female, the percentage of female married number we know, the percentage can be calculated by female married divided by total female, can be calculated by female married divided by total female into 100%. Okay, how many are the married female? 1000. How many are the total female? Is 2000 into 100%. If we do 1000 divided by 2000 into 100% will give us clearly 50%, because 1000 is 50% of 2000. So that should be the right answer, 50% available in option number C. Now, the population of a town decreases every year due to death and migration by 5%. Okay, the population was 1,20,000 last year. What will be the expected population at the end of next year? Okay, for these type of question, when there is a increment in the population, increment in the number sequentially after every year by the same rate, then we can have a formula in the scene. Okay, what is that formula? New population or the new number can always be calculated whenever there is a decrement happening. We can write it like this: whenever there is a decrement, let's have the sign of minus new reduced population. Let's say new reduced population can be calculated by p original population 1 minus r over 100 to the power n, where this P is the original population, R is the rate at which the population is decreasing in terms of percentage, and this N is nothing but the number of years. N is nothing but the number of years after which you want to know the exact population, the reduced population. Okay, so if we apply this particular formula into this situation, what we can do, the new reduced population after at the end of next year, he has said, so the year value is simply going to be the population. So the population was 1,20,000 last year, and they are asking for the population in after next year. So there is a clearly a span of 2 years: last year, then present year, then next year. So clearly a span of 2 years we have to calculate. So new reduced population after 2 years. That is what is the formula we can make. P original. What was the P original? 1 year back, 1,20,000. And 1 minus rate. How much is the rate? Rate value is 5 divided by 100 to the power n. For how many years this has to be the calculation? Has to be of 2 years. So clearly we need to suppose to solve this particular mathematical expression to give away our answer. If we do this, this is going to be 1,20,000. 1 minus 5 over 100 is 5 can cut this 100 by 1 by 20. So it's going to be 21 by rather 20 minus 1. So it's going to be 19 by 20's whole square. If we solve this further, this value is ultimately coming out to be 1,08,300. That is what is the value coming out to be, 1,08,300. That will be the new reduced population after 2 years of a period, that is after next year. 1,08,300. It is available in option number C and becomes the right answer for us. Okay, so the question says Steve went to the shop and bought things worth rupees 25. Okay, that means we can say the total amount that he has paid is 25 rupees paid by him, out of which 30 paise went on sales tax. How much sales tax did he has to pay is 30 paise, or we can convert this into rupees as well. That is 0.3 of rupee, because 1 rupee has got 100 paise. And taxable purchases, if the tax was 6%, the tax rate is given to us as tax percent is given to as 6%. That is the tax rate. Then what was the tax-free items? What was the cost of the tax-free item? That's what is the question. So clearly we can understand that out of the bill of 25 rupees, there has to be two categories. One category is of taxable items. Another is the category of the tax exempted articles or non-taxable items. We can make the categories like this: taxable and non-taxable items. Okay, the tax is levied on the taxable items. The tax that has been paid is 0.3 of a rupee. Okay, and then he says the tax rate was 6%. At the rate percent is 6%. So 6% of the whatever would have been the taxable items price, 6% of that is 0.3 rupees that has been paid already. And then there is a non-taxable amount that has to be calculated. That can be calculated if the taxable amount is calculated. Then by subtracting that from 25, we can obviously calculate non-taxable item. So first and foremost concern is to find out the taxable items price. Taxable item price, where he has said whatever is the taxable items cost, that's 6% has been paid as sales tax rupees. Okay, whatever has been the taxable items cost, that's 6%, because the tax percent is 6%. 6% of that has been paid as sale tax, and the sale tax is just calculated to be 0.3 rupees. So this is what is the expression become of for the taxable items. Let us find out the taxable item. So taxable item is going to be 6 by 100, so it's going to be 0.3 into 100, 0.3 into 100 divided by 6, okay, which gives us 5 rupees. So the cost of the taxable item here is rupees 5, so we can clearly write 5 here. So 5 rupees is the price of the item that are taxable, okay. 0.3 rupees has been paid as tax. Now he is asking for that what was the tax free items cost or the non taxable items cost. So clearly this 25 rupees bill has been constructed by taxable items price, that is 5 rupees, plus the tax paid, that is 0.3 of a rupees, plus the non-taxable or the tax-free items price. This is how this 25 rupees bill has been constructed. So clearly the tax-free item can be found out by subtracting the sum of 0.3 and 5 from 25, that is 25 minus 5.3, which gives us a value of rupees 19.70. So that is the tax-free items price, 19.70. Let's see where it is available. It is available in option number B, becomes the right answer. Now, he says Matthew scored 42 marks in biology, 51 marks in chemistry, 58 marks in mathematics, 35 marks in physics, and 48 marks in English. All those marks are given to us. The maximum marks of a student can be scored in each subject is 60. So let us find out the total of the marks, or total of the maximum marks. So total of the maximum marks is, see, in each subject you can at max score 60. So total of the maximum marks will be 60 into 5, because there are 5 subjects. Okay, so the total obtained marks can be 300 marks. Now, let us find out the marks obtained. So, obtained marks can be calculated by adding all those marks. Obtained marks can be calculated by adding individual subject mark, that is 42 plus 51 plus 58 plus 35 plus 48. These are the obtained marks total. If we add them together, this is coming out to be 234. So 234 are the total obtained marks, 300 being the total maximum marks. What we are supposed to calculate? Overall percentage got by Matthew. So overall percentage can be calculated by total obtained, that is 234, out of total maximum that could have been obtained, that is 300 into 100%. If we solve this further, this 100 can cut this 300 by 3, and if we divide 234 by 3, it's going to be 3 7 ja 21, and then there is 2, so 3 6 ja 24, 3 8 ja 24. So the clearly the percentage that comes out to be is 78% of Matthew. Let's see where it is available. It's available in option number D. So it becomes the right answer there. Now he says in an examination, 80% of the student passed in mathematics, 70% passed in English, while 10% student failed in both the subjects. Okay, if 360 students passed in both the subjects, find the total number of students who appeared. So clearly, when the data is mixed, that is mingled, because he has said in examination 80% of students passed in mathematics. Now these 80% passed in mathematics can also include those who have passed in English also. So there is a mixing of the data. In this situation, we always go by the set theory concept. We can make the diagram of it also. We can make the diagram. Okay, first circle belongs to all those who have passed in mathematics. Second circle belongs to all those who have passed in English. And the common portion between them, the shaded portion, belongs to the people who have passed in both the maths and English. And then the outer thing, if 360 students passed both the subjects, find the total number of students who appeared in examination. 10% student failed. So the failing ones are outside these two passing circles. So this is the total constitution. Okay, so we can make the total students, or let us say that is always going to be 100%. Total student that is always going to be 100% is a combination of mathematics, plus all English, minus mathematics intersection English, that is the common portion, and plus obviously it will be the plus of the failing students. That will make the 100% students available there. Maths passing students, English passing students, the common students subtracted, plus the fail percentage. Okay, so let us find out the total pass students first. Okay, total pass students can be found out by mathematics, English. So it's going to be mathematics is 80%, plus English is going to be 70%, while 10% student failed in both the examinations. So this 10% is failing percentage, that is outside. Okay, so clearly the percentage of students who failed either one or both subject can be clearly found out by 30 plus 20 minus 10. That is nothing but 40%. Okay, 30 plus 20 minus 10, that is nothing but 40%. So 40% of student have actually percentage of pass, 40% of student have actually failed. Okay, so 40% student have actually failed. So what is the passing percentage going to be? Pass percentage is going to be 100 minus 40, that is nothing but 60%. So 60% students have been the pass in both subjects. And what is that given in terms of number? That is given in terms of number as 360. So 60% of all the students that are there is 360. This is what the equation with us. So clearly we can find out all number. All number is nothing but 360 into 100 by 60. If we cut this together, this gives us a value of 600. So that is the total number of students available there. 600 total students that is available in option number. Clearly B becomes the right answer. Now he says depreciation applicable to an equipment is 20%. The value of the equipment 3 years from now will be less by what? Okay, by what percent it will be less by after 3 years? So that he says, let us have the initial value. The initial value, see, everything is just given in terms of percentage. So we can take the things in percentage also, or we can assume the number to be 100. So that's what we are doing. Let the number is 100. Okay, let the value of the initial value of the equipment is 100 rupees. Then you say depreciation applicable to an equipment is 20% for 3 years. So for this situation, when there is a continuous decrement, we have a formula for the final price after all the reduction consecutively for 3 years or n years. That particular formula is the reduced the reduced value the reduced value is always calculated by original value 1 minus r by 100 to the power n, whereas o is the original value, n is the value of years. Okay, r is the rate percent. So clearly we have assumed the original value to be 100. 1 minus rate percent is given as 20% reduction every year divided by 100 to the power how many years? 3 years calculation. So we are supposed to calculate this. If we calculate this, this becomes 100 into 20 is cut by 100 by 5. So 1 minus 1 by 5 is 4 by 5. So it's going to be 4 by 5 into 4 by 5 into 4 by 5. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 51.20. So this is going to be the reduced price or the reduced value. What they had asked? They had asked the value of the equipment 3 years from now will be lesser by. So how much lesser it is? Okay, obviously we have to find out the lesser price, how much it is lesser. We need to subtract this from 100 because the original was 100. So how much it is lesser by? 100 minus 51.20, which gives us the value of 48.8%. So that's what is the final answer. How much it is lesser by? It is lesser by 48.8%. Now he says 50% of P minus Q is equal to 30% of P plus Q, and Q is equal to X percent of P, then the value of X is. Okay, so clearly there is a mix and match of variables is given. So what we can do is we can find out any particular variable's value in another form, and then we can try to replace that in an already generated expression. Okay, so what we can do, the basic thing that we know is Q is X percent of P. Q is X percent of P. How can we do this mathematically? Is going to be X by 100 into P, which is nothing but Px by 100. So that is what is the Q's value, which could be replaced in any of the expression coming in the future. Q is equal to Px by 100. Then he says 50% of P minus Q. So let us make the expression 50% of P minus Q is equal to 30% of P plus Q. That is the expression given. So clearly we can write 50 by 100 into P minus Q is going to be 30% is 30 by 100 into P plus Q. Okay, this is the thing given to us. Now let us try to replace that. We already know Q can be replaced in terms of P as Px by 100. Why we are doing this replacement? So that everything comes in a single variable form, and then we can calculate the X value. Okay, so let us replace the Q by Px by 100. If we do this, this is going to be 50 by 100 into P minus Px by 100 in place of Q is equal to 30 by 100 into P plus Px by 100. So this is how we have done the substitution. Now we are supposed to solve this particular expression to give away the right answer. So if we try to solve this, this comes out to be further P by 2 minus Px by 200 is equal to 3p by 10 plus 3p by 100. If we solve this further, this is coming out to be 2p by 10 is equal to 8p by 1000 of x, which gives us which cancels out the p from both the sides, and x can be easily calculated as 25. So that is the value of x coming out to be 25. Let's see where it is available in option number A, so becomes the right answer. Then, on a test consisting 150 questions carrying 1 mark each, James answered 80% of the first 75 questions correctly. What percent of other 75 question does he need to answer correctly to score 60% on the entire exam? Okay, so ultimately the main line to focus is how much is the total to be scored. He has said 60% of the entire exam to be scored. What is, and the total number of questions are 150. So the how many questions to be answered? How many questions are ultimately to be answered? Questions to be answered, he says 60% of the total exam. So it's going to be 60% of total exam questions are 150. That is nothing but 60 by 100 into 150. If we solve this, this is coming out to be 90. So ultimately, he has to answer 90 questions correctly. Now let us break down them one by one. In the first attempt, they say answered 80% of the first 75 questions. So in the first attempt, we can write 80% of the 75 questions have been answered. That is nothing but 80 by 100 of 75. This much has been answered correctly. Let's see how much this comes out to be. This can be cut like this. So it is coming out to be 60. So in first attempt, how many questions he has answered correctly? 60. Ultimately, how many are supposed to be answered? 90. So how many are left out to be answered in the second attempt are simply 30. So 30 questions are to be answered. Out of how many questions are remaining? See, there were in all 150 questions. 75 questions have been already attempted. So how many are left out? Only 75 are left out. Out of those 75, how many are to be answered correctly is 30. That's why they are asking what percent out of 75, what percent should be answered so that the ultimate score comes down to 90. So we are supposed to find out 30 is what percent of 75. Okay, so let us find out that is 30 is what percent of 75. So we have to do 30 by 75 into 100. This is how we can find out 30 is what percent of 75. If we solve this further, this can cut by 4, this can by 3. So it's going to be 10 into 4, that is 40%. So we can clearly say that 40% of the questions of the second set of 75 questions are supposed to be answered so that the ultimate total is 60% of the entire exam. So right answer is 40%. Let's see where it is available in option number B. Now the next is difference between two numbers is 30% of the higher number. If the smaller number is 14, find the higher number. Okay, so this question we can answer by assuming something to be x, because the number is already given, so we cannot take the things in 100 because there is a number already allotted. So we'll have to take the things by assuming some x only. So he said difference between two numbers is 30% of the higher number. So the base can be taken as higher number. So let's take the base or the reference number, let the higher number. Okay, let the higher number to be assumed as x. We assume higher number to be x. He says difference between two numbers is 30% of the higher number. So what is the difference? He's saying difference is 30% of the higher number, that is 30% of higher number, that is x, that is 30x by 100. That is the difference. He says if the smaller number is 14, so he is already telling you the smaller number is 14, then we are supposed to find out the higher number. So let us do the difference. Difference will be x minus 14, that is the higher number minus the 14 is equal to, and from the other side what we have calculated as difference is this expression, that is going to be 30x by 100. So we have equated difference from both the sides. Now we can solve for x to give away the right answer. If we solve this further, the 0 gets cancelled, then we are left out with 10x minus 3x is equal to 140, which further gives us 7x is equal to 140, which gives us x value as 20. Okay, that's what he wanted us to calculate, the higher number, and higher number comes out to be 20 as an answer. Let's see where it is available. It is available in option number D, becomes the right answer. Now he says in a certain office, 72% of the workers prefer tea, 44% prefer coffee. If each of them prefer tea or coffee and 40 like both, the total number of workers on the office is. In this type of question, clearly we can do this by using the concept of set theory because the data is mingled. When he says 72% of the worker prefer tea, in that 72%, the people who are all preferring tea is also there, and the people are preferring both is also there. So in this situation, we are, if to separate the data, we have to go for set theory concept, which says A union B is equal to all A plus all B minus A intersection B. This is the particular formula. In this situation, our A and B are tea and coffee. Okay, so let us write that. So total percentage is always going to be 100% because ultimately there will be total number of people that can always be linked as 100%. So 100% is going to be people who are preferring tea is 72%, people who are preferring coffee is 44%, minus people who are preferring both are 40. Okay, so this is the equation 72 plus 44. If each of them prefer tea or coffee and 40 like both, the total number of workers in the office is. But this 40 is a number, it's not the data in the percentage. So let us, and all the data that we have taken are in percentage 72%, 44%. So let's take it as both percent. We don't know the both percent value, but we know the both number. Both number is 40. Okay, so let us find out the both percentage. The both percentage can be calculated by shifting the values. So it's going to be 100 minus 72 plus 44. Okay, rather we have to do minus of both percentage equal to 100 minus 72 plus 44 in changing the side. Okay, if we solve this comes out to be, the both percent comes out to be 72 plus 44 is 116. 116 minus 100 is going to be 16%. So that means the percentage of the people who are liking both is 16%, and the value of the people that are liking both is 40. So we can always equate this. The total number of the people who are liking both is 16% of all people. So we'll have to assume all people here. So let us assume let all people are X. So now 16% of X, that is the people who are liking both, is actually equal to the value of both, which is 40. So 16 upon 100 is 40. So here where we can calculate for X, we can cut down few things. So we can cut this by 4, 4, 4 is 16, and this is 25. Okay, this 4 can cut this 40 by 10. So X value clearly comes out to be 250. So that is the total number of people who are, total number of people that who are number of workers in the office available. 250 where it is available in option number B becomes the right answer. Now, in a school containing 350 students, 14% are girls. The monthly fee each girl is rupees 520 and the monthly fee of each boy is 25% more than that of a girl. What is 20% of the total monthly fee of the girls and boys? In these type of question, we should always solve the things sequentially. When the data is given in a sequence, then you should also try to follow the same sequence. Let us do that. Already the total number of students are already given, so we can easily follow the sequence. The total number of students are 350. Okay, in 350 you say 14% are girls. Okay, girls are 14%. Let us find out. So the girls number is going to be 14% of total number, that is 350. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 14 into 350 by 100. Okay, what is this number? This number comes out to be 49. So out of those girls, 350 total students, the girls number is 49. So what will the boys number? Clearly the boys will number will be total number of students minus girls number, which comes out to be 301. So we have 301 boys and 49 girls in the batch of 350. Now let's move to the next step. He said monthly fee of each girl is 520. Okay, so each girl has got a fee of 520. So how many girls do we have? We have got 49 girls. So we can clearly calculate the total fee of the all the girls by multiplying 49 into fee of each girl, that is 520. Similarly, he says monthly fee of each boy is 25% more than that of girls. So let us focus on this. Boy fee, he says boy fee is 25% more than girl fee. This is the first thing that is given in terms of percentage. So we need to know the girl fee. Girl fee is already 520. So we can find out the boy fee by 520 is the girl fee plus 25% more means 25% more of 520. So this is how we can find out the boys fee. Let's see how much it comes out to be. Boys fees comes out to be 520 plus 25 by 100. 520 plus 25 by 100 of 520. Okay, if we solve this further, this comes out to be 520 plus 130, that is actually equal to 650. Okay, so boys fee is coming out to be 650. 650. That is what is the monthly fee of each boy is coming. Now, what he has asked for, what is 20% of the total monthly fee of girls and boys together? So we need to find out the total fee of girls and boys together first. Total fee of girls plus boy. Okay, how many girls are there? We have got 49 girls. What is the fee of each girl? Is 520. So this is the fee of all the girls plus how many boys are there? There are 301 boys. How many? What is the fees of each boy? We just calculated that to be 650. So this is the total fee of all boys and girls. He's wanting us to calculate 20% of this. So we'll just find out 20 by 100 of all this. So it is 49 into 520. If you multiply, this becomes 25480 plus 301 into 650, which comes out to be 195650. Okay, so we are supposed to solve this particular expression. If we solve it correctly, it should come out to be 44,226. So that becomes the right answer. The 20% of the total fee of boys and girls is 44,226. Let us see where it is available. It is available in option number A. Now, he says, in an examination, 65% of the candidate passed in Hindi, 75% in social studies, and 25% failed in both the subjects. Okay, 25% have been failed in both the subject. Find the passing percentage. Okay, these type of question, when the passing percentage is required and every data is given in terms of few data is given in terms of passing, few data is given in terms of failing. So we can do it other way around also. Instead of going by the track of passing percentage students only, we can go by the track of people who are failing the exam. Okay, so that's what he says. In an examination, 65% of the candidate passed in Hindi. So if the passing percentage in Hindi is 65%, then failing percentage in Hindi will be 100 minus 65, that is 35%. Okay, this is the data of only Hindi. Similarly, passing data of social science, passing, how many people have passed in social science is 75%. So failing people in social science will be how much? 100 minus 75, that is 25% people have failed in social science. Okay, so we are actually calculating the failing data and we will make use of it. That will be rather easy. Okay, he says 25% failed in both the subjects. Okay, there are 25% people who have failed in both the subjects. So clearly here where failing data is there with us, so we can use this failing data to actually find out the passing percentage. Okay, so passing percentage will be obviously 100 minus all the failing percentage, sum of all the failing percentage. Okay, because ultimately there has to be 100% students, so passing percentage can be calculated by 100 minus all failing percentages. This is what is the strategy. Okay, so let us do it. 100 minus all failing. First failing is failing in Hindi, that is 35. Second failing is failing in social science, that is 25%. Last failing is failing in both, that is nothing but 25%. So that is 25% as given in the question itself. If we solve this, this becomes 100 minus 35 plus 25 plus 25 is actually 85%. So 100 minus 85 is 15%. So that is the passing percentage as asked in the question. The total passing percentage comes out to be 15% in the examination. Let's see where is this option available. It is available in option number C. So it becomes the right answer for us.